A reminder that we are recording this meeting. It will be posted to the Office of Broadband website and the Department of Information Technology website. I'm going to go ahead and start with the roll call. Jason Clack.
Present.
Eli Guinea.
I'm here.
Joseph Navarrete. Not present. Isaac Bush. Not present. Lana Waller.
Yes, sir.
Present. Catherine Crociata. Not present. Steve Gray. Not present. Jim Roybal.
I'm here.
Present. Godfrey Njadi. Godfrey? Oh, there he is. Okay. Thank you. Did I miss anyone who is a member of the council? Okay. We do have quorum and can proceed with the meeting.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
This is Godfrey. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Had to choose 4 options. So
All right, next order of business is to approve the agenda for today's meeting. That agenda is in the chat, and it's also been posted. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved. This is Eli.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second. This is Lana.
Okay. And is there anyone in council who opposes the motion? All right, hearing or seeing no opposition, majority of the agenda is approved. Next, we would typically approve the meeting minutes for the prior meeting. Since that was not an official meeting, we do not have the minutes. I did send those out just for your own sake for what happened in the last meeting, but they do not need to be approved. And stepping in for Chairman Reyes is Lana Waller. Thank you for your participation and helping us out, Lana. I'll hand the mic over to you.
I have no comments. So this came as somewhat of a surprise in the last half hour. So I don't have any comments. So I guess we'll move on to the working group updates. Eli, do you have anything for your working group?
Thank you, Chair. Since we didn't have a public meeting in May, do we still need to approve the minutes for the previous month?
That is a question I asked Jason, and he told me that they do not need to be, since it was not an official meeting, we do not need to approve those minutes.
I think what Eli's asking though is the meeting before that last meeting, that non-official meeting. Did we ever approve the minutes for that meeting? I guess it was the April meeting.
We did not. I did send those out to you today. We can make a motion to approve those.
I think we had those in the May agenda, so they were posted, I believe. I have to go back and look at that. So maybe I'll reference that from that last posting, so we didn't have a quorum.
I'm having trouble hearing you, Jason.
You can hear me now?
A little bit better.
Better? Okay. I was saying that I think they were posted in the notice for the May meeting, and we weren't able to have an official meeting because we didn't have a quorum. No, we had issues with
This is the link.
Zoom link, that I recall. But we did have I think we did have the meeting minutes from the April meeting posted. So we can refer to that
Okay.
post.
Can I have a motion to approve the April meeting minutes?
So I'll move to approve those.
In a second?
Second, Jim Roybal.
Okay. All right, I'll hand it back to you, Lana.
All right, thank you. Do we have a quorum today?
6, correct?
Should be 7.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6. We have 6. I thought it was 6. I apologize.
Oh.
Um,
In that case, I guess we can't approve those meeting minutes either.
Right.
Jeff, you have your hand raised?
Thanks, sir. This is Jeff Woodman representing the New Mexico Department of Transportation. I am sitting in, I think, in place of Leonard Manzanares, who previously represented the DOT, but I don't know if I'm sitting in as a voting member or not. So I just wanted to offer that if it would help.
It's still at 6, so.
So we should-
Kathy Cruciata emailed indicating that she is running late, but will be joining shortly, which will give us quorum.
That would give us quorum.
So if
And
she joins, we'll readdress it.
And Jason, if you have a recommendation on newly appointed members, I know it's a DOT representative, and what the council would need to recognize that as an official member.
It's the secretary's designee, so the secretary can designate anyone, and I guess if this is going to be a regular designee, it'd be good to get that in writing. But I think for now we can, if they're representing the department as the secretary's designee, I think it's sufficient for today. We'll just get it in writing. If you can get something in writing from your secretary saying that you're going to be the designee for this council, then we can have that for our records.
Certainly, Mr. Clack will do.
Thank you.
So do we need to take the vote again, or do you think we're covered, Jason?
Well, I think we still don't have quorum, right, until I think Catherine joins us. So we will need to take the vote again once we do have a quorum.
Okay. So you're saying that until it's in writing, the stand-in appointment is not really an appointment?
No, I'm saying he can be an appointment for today, but I still don't think we have quorum. Is that correct, Kevin?
No, we do.
We do with?
Is that right, Kevin?
Well, if Catherine shows up, yes, we would. So we can push
So,
any official.
So you already counted Jeff as a
I
member
did,
then?
yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, I got you now. Okay, so we'll move on to working groups. Eli?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the Digital Readiness and Adoption Group met June 11th. We talked about a variety of updates, but our primary presentation was from Paul Zelizer of New Mexico Tech Talks. And he presented on the New Mexico Tech Week, which is October, and I'll put links in the chat as well. It's October 26th through the 31st statewide. And then within that period, New Mexico Tech Fest is October 29th through 30th in Albuquerque. and he would love to have participation. So I'll put in some links for folks who might be interested, but it looks like a very dynamic week. And I'll leave it there. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Catherine's not on for the legislative and policy yet. I do not have anything for mapping and right of way. I apologize. Just every time that I go to pull things together, something else pushes it down further. So hopefully after all the reports are done at the PRC, July 1, I can get something up and running. And Godfrey, Tribal Working Group, do you have anything for this group?
Yeah, it's a pretty busy time right now for us. We've been actively busy working on the Senate Bill 152 portion, which would be the New Mexico ACP.
Steve Gray.
We've been trying to get tribes. We've been trying to get tribes ready for that to be able to take part in that. We did have a tribal convening with Victory and staff from the tribal side of the house from Ojai. They were great to be there to talk about all the issues. I believe, Victory, didn't we have some 20, at least 20 tribes that did come to that?
Yes, the number was that we had 19 tribes in attendance, nations, pueblos, and tribes, mostly in person. There were a few online. And we also had the Deputy Secretary from Department of Information and Technology present, and the representatives from the Public Regulation Commission, who not only stayed the whole day, but also presented and listened to the conversations, what we felt was most important, so that way they're aware of what concerns or ideas may come up through the rulemaking process.
Right. So thank you, Victory. That was a great meeting. It actually, even getting that many tribal participants was amazing. So I give my kudos to Victory and Steph for getting the word out and getting people to know exactly what the process will be to become an ETC for the purpose of Lifeline in New Mexico. As that stands today, it is a cumbersome process to do it today. But with the PRC and them being there, they know they are going to put out a NOPR that will address any concerns and issues for tribes to participate in this that do become ISPs. What stands at the middle of this whole thing is under the current statute, it does say that you have to be have to go underneath the PRC jurisdiction in order to get a ETC for New Mexico. That includes voice services. So a lot of tribes are mostly just putting in ISPs. How can they participate, especially for their area, if they want to do that? So that's another piece that's going to have to be kind of worked out with the PRC. Not sure exactly how that's going to be, but we'll see how that turns out. Obviously, this is going to be something that's going to be going from now till the end of the year. Hopefully, we could start ACP at the beginning of next year, 27. So if this all works out, it should be a good program. This is just one of the first meetings that we're trying to get started in enabling to tribes to understand exactly the process of what it means. Obviously, through the being Maddie being the only company that is regulated by the PRC voluntarily going underneath their jurisdiction, this is another issue that tribes have to understand. If it does stay the same or the status quo stays the same, especially for tribes to enter that arena. If that does happen, then usually we want to look at separating the tribe from the company itself, being owned by the tribe, but still also being separate, being having its own sovereignty. So tribes would never have to waive sovereignty in this issue at all. It would be the company. So a lot of issues that have to be worked out there, a lot of understanding and for tribes to go through this process if it does stay that way or not. But it is a big thing, and like I said, we're just barely at the start of this whole process, so we'll get this going as soon as we have to be redundant in a lot of this issues, so it'll be kind of the same message most of the time, but we'll add a little bit more just for them to understand that. What does it mean by voice services? VoIP, is that something that's going to be part of that? 911 is another case in there, so there's a lot of issues that have to be understood by tribes to be able to be part of this whole process. And at the end of the day, a lot of tribes will be able to receive ACP funding according to how the bill was passed. So in other issues, tribes have another round of NTIA, TVCP round 3 that just came down, some 500 million for infrastructure. Not sure how that's all going to pan out for tribes that have had other funding that has been placed in their areas. Not sure if that's reconnect or would that be BEAD or any of these other issues, how that's all going to be worked out to make sure that they're not double funded in some places. Those are some things that I'm looking into to see how that all works out. We have from now until September to make grants approved by NTIA to submit. That's going to be another process. On the other part of that, there's some 800 million altogether. The other piece of that is the old digital equity portion, which they renamed, and I can't remember that name right now. Maybe Victory can do that, but that there's some 250 million that's available in that, so that can be used for adoption and use. So some big times from now till September for tribes in order to participate and making this work. So quite a bit of action on that side. The other part of that too that we're doing is also working on AI for tribes. AI being how can that be successfully used by tribes locally rather than being part of some huge hyperscale AI. We've been doing quite a bit of that. I just came back from Minnesota where we did have an AI forum at NTTA, talked quite a bit about that and been able to make sure that we understand it first before we can take any action in that realm. So a lot of things happening on the tribal side. So that's my report for today. Any questions? Hearing none, I guess we're good. Mr.
All right.
Chairwoman.
Thank you, Godfrey.
Yeah,
Catherine, do you have anything to report in your committee?
It's just me, and so I don't have anything to report. I don't really know what to say there. So I can tell you I'm
Right.
attending the interim legislative meetings. If anybody has anything of interest that they want me to look out for, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to talk to committee members about anything that's popping up that they may be concerned about. I know we're facing some potential changes in the House as well as, a new governor. And so things are sort of in flux a little bit as we move into the next legislative session. But I will be at most meetings, science and technology, LFC for sure, both of those. So if you see something on the agenda as a a council member that's of interest to you, please feel free to reach out to me and either call me or send me an email and we can discuss it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Ms. Chairwoman, this is Godfrey. Lana,
Yes, sir.
has any talk happened about especially the indicator compensation reforms that are happening at the FCC, which obviously could result in loss of support dollars for New Mexico ILEX? Has any of that been talked about in what realm? And then if it does have some kind of traction there, could this next legislature be something that we could look at to be able to refund more into the state USF funds? Just not sure if there's any thought about that yet or not.
Madam Chair and Godfrey, I haven't heard anything mentioned, but if you want to talk to about it offline, I'm happy to talk to the LFC about it. If it's something that we know that's coming and that funding is going to be stopped or limited, they may want to look at a backfill for that. But I haven't heard it mentioned in any of the interim committees thus far.
Yeah, it's at the FCC level right now,
Yeah.
and what's happening, our comments are coming in. Even talk about eliminating E-rate to some point, or restricting it, or kind of making it less of what it is. There's a lot happening. There's the IP IP. Trying to remember what that is, but it's where we're all moving to IP for VoIP calling, and also for inter-carrier compensation is the biggest one right now, which would kind of almost eliminate NECA. So I'm not sure exactly what NECA is going to do if that does get passed, or to what capacity that's going to be. So there's quite a bit of motion that's happening in the next year to 2 years. So this will be in 27 and 28. But if you try to get ahead of it, at least you can kind of soften the blow or the landing of what that kind of legislation is going to prove at the FCC level. So I just thought I'd throw that out there just to make you guys aware of that, because we're making comments on that from the NTTA side and Maddie side, but just not sure if anything's being thought about or dealt about that and how that is. Also, part of that too is taking away the PSTN, which is a the public network that's been out there for years, how we make calls to the world and to the United States. A lot of that's being taken away. It's kind of made to where it's just going to be like a cellular call, where it doesn't go through a thing that charges everybody. There's not really any thing to take its place yet in an IP world side. So that hasn't really been dealt with. And like I said, a lot of that's still being worked out. Just want to make you guys aware of it, just so things are understood, and all of a sudden doesn't hit us like a 1,000-pound gorilla jumping on top of us. So just to FYI.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And Madam Chair, I don't know if this is anything that's being looked at the OBE level. I mean, I guess we could throw that out there too, because it seems like if funding is going to be cut, then that may need to be agency or a agency budget request of some sort too, if it's going to be significant to New Mexico.
And Jay, Manteca, do you guys know how many ILECs are in New Mexico, Alana, that are participated in that fund?
I'm
Right off
not
the hip.
sure.
I didn't mean to
I'm-
put you on the spot. I'm sorry about that.
That participate in which fund? State USF or high cost?
Both that and the NECA program.
I do not know. I do not
Yeah.
know about NECA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a number that we can easily get. I don't know if Jay and Mateka know that number either.
Godfrey and Lana, I don't have the number. I could look into it though.
Yeah, like I said, it's just something that's going to be coming out. I know I'm looking at probably some $200,000 in reductions already. So I've already actually taken the steps on forecasting if that were to be eliminated. So just taking a look at this kind of thing. So it's significant to me on that side, on how that's all going to be worked out. So, and I haven't really, I've visited the FCC and have not really got any real answers from that, especially from the Wireline Bureau yet, but hopefully that will be coming. I just don't know what that is going to be. But I do have Commissioner Trustee coming down to Miss Claire to visit with me, which I plan to talk to her more about that in the next few weeks when she does come visit us. So
Yeah, that's going to be a concern for all of the companies in the state. If it's cutting out high cost support.
it is. So, but we'll see how, like I said, comments are going into the FCC right now, and eventually there'll be replies to that, and then we're starting that process. But I just want to put it on everybody's radar so they can start seeing if it's going to be an impact on them or not, and just making sure that you weren't caught off guard.
Thank you, Godfrey.
And thank you, Catherine and Lana.
Jeff, are you ready? Or do we want to go back to the minutes and the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the April meeting minutes.
Second, this is Catherine.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I missed the April meeting, but I received an email from Kevin saying that we didn't reach quorum in April. So I wonder if it's actually March we need to be approving.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Just about to say that.
I'll amend my motion to the March meeting minutes. Thank you.
Catherine, are you still the second for that one?
Yeah, I was just trying to pull up my email to have a look, but yeah, I'm happy to second that.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to approve the March minutes? Those have been posted for some time.
A motion and a second.
Motion
Anybody?
to approve March minutes, Jim Roybal.
Okay.
Second, this is Catherine.
I thought we already had the motion and the second.
I did too.
Yes, Madam Chair, I think we did.
Okay, so I guess the question is there anybody opposed to the motion? And if not, the motion would carry. And then do we also need to approve the agenda? Even though we're at the bottom of it?
Let's go ahead and do that.
Yep.
Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Next order of business will be an update from OBI. Jeff?
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all also as we continue to transition some of the administrative support to the council. Please let us know if there's more we can be doing to support. I was before the Science, Technology, and Telecommunications Committee, interim committee, earlier this week on Tuesday. I'll post a link to the handouts, a slide deck that I went through, providing an update from the Office of Broadband to the legislature. It is material that you are all familiar with, but I'll cover the major updates since my last presentation to the council. We are still in the execution phase of BEAD. We were approved by NTIA in January. We did not get the approval from NIST, which is the financial arm of U.S. Department of Commerce for the purpose of grants, until April, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. And now we have until October to execute subgrants. So we have 31 ongoing negotiations, and we expect to complete all of them by October. That will begin they'll begin work. That means we can start doing the permitting and hopefully break ground on some of these projects very soon, and some of them a little bit after that, pending permits and other approvals. With the BEAD program, we will reach 99% connectivity around New Mexico. There is an update to the FCC's maps as of the version 7 was released, which provided about 6,000 locations, new locations. We're still adjudicating some of those locations, but that means that there's always going to be updates. We need to make sure that New Mexico is planning for the inevitability that there is room around the margins to make those changes. We don't have guidance from NTIA on whether we can use BEAD deployment funds for those dollars, but that is what we are also seeking. We have the $290 million of non-deployment funds that does not have guidance from U.S. Department of Commerce. First and foremost, we need to make sure deployment reaches 100%, and then we have the non-deployment initiatives, which I discussed with the council, I believe back in March or February. Other updates, the Office of Broadband is providing comment to the Public Regulation Commission for the purpose of implementing YTAP low income program. I don't believe PRC has opened the docket. There was a working group, a couple of sessions for interested parties to draft potential rules. Office of Broadband participated in that. I know a couple of other people on the call participated. And to my knowledge, we are still waiting on PRC to turn that around to a proposed rule. The PRC has until January 1st to finalize those rules and start making the low-income program available. We're approaching the end of the fiscal year, so Office of Broadband is hard at work closing out a number of purchase orders, and thanks to the legislature reopening them for the purpose of the Connect New Mexico Fund, including the infrastructure program and the Student Connect program. We also have Community Connect, which is $7 million for community Wi-Fi. All of the subgrantees, I think, have executed that. There will be a new purchase order starting July 1st. From here, I want to turn it over to Natalie Runyon, our GIS expert here at the Office of Broadband. We'll be announcing a new broadband construction permitting tool, likely early next week. And Natalie is going to be sharing her screen to give a preview of the tool. Natalie, are you ready?
Sure, just looking for share. There we go. Anyone remind me how to get this thing out of the way? That'll be good enough, I guess. Can you see the screen okay?
Yeah, I think it looks good on my end.
Yeah, so some key things, right now we have this banner that says this is in final beta testing. We've actually had this app shared publicly for a while, and that banner keeps changing with new, the new status updates. These version numbers change every time we update the app, and we give some information about, why we built the app, what it's for, what the results represent. And then this gives you some details about what we've updated at any one time. And so generally the left side of the app is for defining your area of interest. And then the right side provides results about that area of interest. And so if we do like a BPAU search, you could search for, I'll just use Berlin because it's in the thing, and do a search. And for our BEAD applicants, the PAUs are a very specific location. And so on the right, you get a list of permits that are the gray ones that aren't necessarily tied to any land ownership jurisdiction. So the NEPA review is required, and you can click on this and get all the information about the process and the permitting forms that are necessary and who you can call as a follow-up if you need to. So these are all sort of the overarching ones. This crosses a highway, and so we've got you contacting. In this case, there's 3 different DOT districts that you could be engaged with, but it explains that you first do your application online, and then once that's processed, you get assigned a district. So we give you the spatial information, but we also sort of give you the context about how the process would happen. And on down through the land ownership. And in this case, we can see in the pie chart that the majority of this location is private land with a little bit of forest. All of the information is then summarized in a PDF report that includes your map and where it is in the state, the summary of the acreage, and then each permit type. And so this has got permit 1 of 18 types called out here. And so the app is, it's designed to let you draw features or upload your data. So you could upload your network designs. You can draw your own feature, or like a polygon. And it'll do that, query live and on the fly. We're looking for feedback, right? And Jeff, I don't know if if I've presented enough, but the idea is that we get as many people using this and try and do some quick updates if anybody sees any glaring issues. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. Is this URL live to the public right now? GIS do
Yes. Yeah.
So you all have this tool available to you. I would like to propose the permitting working group to have a session on this with Natalie so it can take feedback on problems, improvements. This is going to be a live beta. The data has been validated, excuse me. But there's always going to be room for improvement or errors that we didn't catch. So please work with us as we seek to improve this tool. The primary purpose we developed and are deploying it is for BEAD. We are getting to the permitting stage for BEAD, but it will serve broadband projects, all of our grants. It will serve broadband providers that are not participating with the Office of Broadband. And from some initial feedback from other agencies, this might serve a purpose well beyond broadband, where any infrastructure project in New Mexico can get a very good overview of the authorities and contexts and some of the process necessary for permitting and rights of way. So that is the main goal, of course, is BEAD. Those are secondary goals, and we would love to work with everybody here on the council to make sure that this is an effective tool for our purposes and for others as well. So I guess I'll pause there to see if there's any questions for Natalie or me about permitting tool.
Jeff, I want to commend Natalie for an awesome job here. I wish this was available about 2.5 years ago. I mean, let me tell you, this is a great tool. It's a great dashboard that's going to be able to help a lot of people get through that maze of permitting that is such a cumbersome deal. The only thing I could make this better would be to see if there's already previously disturbed corridors that are done that you could kind of say, hey, I want to get in that same ditch because I don't have to do as much and might reduce my costs for environmental and archaeological reviews that could help out on that. Since some of those run, 5 or 10 years, I think it is. So if somebody already went through there and you're going through that same corridor, that you might be able to save some money just by doing that.
Thank you for the feedback on and for the recommendation. That is a very valuable one. Natalie, do you have any initial thoughts or feedback on previously disturbed and where we could go for that data?
Yeah, so we are talking with the GIS managers and various agencies like the DOT and state lands, right, where or feds even, right, where we would be sending them the proposed construction project locations, and that will help them prioritize identifying any existing projects or any that are in the queue. So I think the idea there is that we're able to just give them a heads up as soon as possible so that in most cases, it's like a backfile conversion problem, right? They've got the information about other projects, but whether they've got it in a digital format that can be queried the right way. So I think that's something, to me, that's another thing that if the working group just prioritized that, then we could, use I don't know, a couple projects as a case study and basically just say, yeah, let's send a letter from the Connect New Mexico Council or from wherever, right, that just says, hey, we want the agencies to give us as much information on this as possible. I don't know how that would work, but yes.
One more thing to add to on, say, like for my run to El Paso, we're finally able to figure out how many miles of BLM. I don't know if you can put a route in this and then just say it kind of ports out the number of how many miles BLM will be in this and how many miles of DOT, all that kind of stuff. The BLM portion is kind of important only because you have to usually hire a monitor to go with your guys to when they're digging. So it just kind of points to that, kind of gives you a little bit more information, and also that you're aware that you're going to have to hire this. I mean, it cost me $40,000 extra just for a guy to monitor for that 39 miles. So these are costs that kind of hopefully can help you out. Or I'm not sure if it'll ever get waived, but like I said, that's kind of how BLM is kind of running things right now. So anything to help you kind of curtail the cost of what it's going to go through this process can really help a lot.
Yeah, and I think Andrew, right, and Heather, Heather's on here, right? For the BEAD applicants at least, right? The idea is that they will have these kickoff meetings with each of the awardees, the subgrantees, and talk about, here's the lay of the land around your project. And, BLM is the primary landholder, federal landholder. And so we'll, OBI's the lead and BLM would probably be the secondary on like the NEPA permitting and all that, right? Like whatever it is,
Yeah.
this is like the initial information, but then those kickoff meetings would cover a lot of that too.
Yeah, in mine, NTIA grant, BLM took lead. So NTIA was in the back seat on that one. So, and they allowed it to happen. So just to let you know that it's not the case every time. But it like I said, I'm about close to $900,000 into my permitting for just that piece going down to El Paso. So it's crazy.
Wow.
But I tell you, everybody in New Mexico has been great to work with. We've had no problems at all. Just a little bit of hold up on the land side commission, but other than that, nothing. I mean, state has been awesome to work with. It's the federal side that's going to be tough. So just to let you know. And those are just from what I've been doing for the last 2.5 years on that permitting for everything I've gone through. And I'm sure other people have stories about that too.
See that 270 days?
Yeah, it is. That's just about right. Yeah.
Thank you for the feedback again, Godfrey, and Natalie again for the tool. I want to give a shout out to Lane Canfield in our office as well, who is our permitting coordinator. And he's the permitting lead. He'll be putting together our roundtables. We are the co-lead agency for federal permitting alongside NTIA, which is kind of a unique circumstance for a state agency. But we don't, not quite clear on what power comes along with that, but it does seem like a soft power for convening federal agencies. So we are seeking to get feedback on how to improve our coordination with federal agencies in particular, because I agree with you, Godfrey, they're going to be the
one more I
difficult
forgot
ones to work with.
One more I forgot, Jeff, was municipalities, like going through the town of Anthony. When we had to go through a meeting with the mayor and everybody else to approve our permit just to go through the town. So the same thing for Sunland Park. So I would imagine if you're going through any little municipality, you would have to go run through that too. So just a FYI on that side too. Forgot about that.
Yeah, thanks, Godfrey. All right, thanks, Natalie. Last point of business, the Office of Broadband is taking comment on our BEAD contracts. There is a public comment open right now. Of course, this is primarily structured for our BEAD preliminary awardees, but any member of the public, including a member of the council, can provide feedback on our template for legal agreements between the Office of Broadband and BEAD subgrantees. There's some changes in there from required by NTIA, so just encouraging everybody to take a look at those. And with that, I am still available for questions and defer to the chair. Thank you, Chair Lana.
Anybody have questions? All right. The next thing on the agenda, discussion of officer elections. Kevin, is that something that you're lead?
I talked to Chairman Reyes, and he's open to possibly having elections. We have a full-time chair and also a vice chair. So I think, wanted to just open this up for discussion debate. And then if we deem that we want to do this, we would just schedule elections. Jeff?
Madam Chair, may I offer a comment on this?
Of course.
Just to recap the history here, Kimball Sekakoptiwa is still the elected chair of the Connect Mexico Council. She stepped back from that position about 3 years ago, and then Vice Chair Reyes was made acting chair. To my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, I don't think there's been any officer elections during that time. So I think it is important for leadership of the council that the council acts to determine a leader.
So is the proposal to set it on a future agenda?
Yes, it would not.
Yes.
That's my knowledge. I defer to Kevin and Jason, but I don't think the council could vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct, Madam Chair. Yeah, we'd have to set it on a future agenda for next month or however soon we want to do it.
Okay. Anybody have any discussion on this? Yeah, we've just kind of been limping along, so actually putting legitimate authority in place would be great.
I agree, Madam Chair. I think if we set it for the agenda for next month, then we can vote on a new chair and a new vice chair as well.
Sounds good to me.
Any opposed to that?
Madam Chair, I'm just wondering, maybe I missed it. What will be the process for nominating? Do we need a nominating committee or anything like that?
I'm trying to remember back to how we did it previously. I don't know. I mean, I guess that would be for legal, by legal to determine. Can we just make nominations from the floor? I don't recall how we did it previously. I don't think it was very structured.
Was it just from city members and then the city members would nominate and then that's kind of how we did it, I thought.
Madam
thought
Chair, that's correct. We just did it
Okay.
in a meeting. It was on the agenda and then there was a nomination or a motion made to elect the chair and then that was seconded and then the same for the vice chair.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's all that's required. We just, we make the nominations and then vote on them. And, the election is by a majority of the quorum.
Jeff?
Madam Chair, I'm not a member of the council, so just requesting permission to provide another comment.
Of course.
There was, I haven't pulled the meeting minutes. I do believe the first director of Office of Broadband was considered for chair and was not determined eligible since he wasn't a member of the council. So I just wanted to provide that history that the director is not a member of the council and would not be eligible for chair. So I wanted to state that up front.
So what might be helpful is, and I mean, I realize that it likely is in it's in the invitation or the notice that's sent out to the council members, but maybe what would be helpful, in addition on that agenda is to put the names of the members so that anybody wanting to nominate would know this is the group that you can choose to nominate from.
Noted.
Any other discussion on this topic?
Madam Chair, it might also be helpful to know who would like to be the chair or vice chair. Maybe if those interested could email yourself or Chair Reyes. I would just be interested to know who's willing and able and wants to do it.
Okay. And with only 7 here, maybe it's appropriate for I'm just trying to think of some way to do it without violating any kind of meeting, potentially, any kind of Open Meetings Act by having any kind of interaction as a big group. Jason, what do you suggest?
I guess I'm not sure. We have to have it posted, and on the agenda. And then, yeah, it would be, if we have a quorum, and there would be an election by a majority of the quorum. So, yeah, but I mean, it'd be fine if we want to reach out to the members beforehand to encourage that they attend the meeting. So I don't know if Obi wants to do some outreach in that regard, and contact the well, the current committee members certainly that have been active, but at least, those others maybe that we don't see as much in the actual members, to encourage them to send a designee, because a lot of the members are designees like myself. So if we have entities that they haven't sent a designee in a while, then maybe we can reach out to them and encourage them to send one, so that we make sure that we have a quorum present for that meeting.
I can do that. I've done it with EDD. I haven't heard back, but DOT, that's why Jeff is here. So I'll do all the outreach on that.
That would be great. And then I just don't want to send an email out to a group and then have a dialogue starting with the entire group, and then it potentially becomes an issue.
Noted.
All right. Public comment. Is there anybody on who has public comment? Anything they want to talk about? Address the council? All right, I'll hand it back to you, Kevin.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.